Good evening, I'm Abhyuday Shrestha and these are the headlines of the hour. Flood in Thame River in Solukhumbu confirmed to have been caused by the outburst of a glacial lake. Additional 2 glacial lakes at risk. Government provides flood victims relief of 65,000 rupees. Energy Minister Deepak Khadga and Nepal Electricity Authority Managing Director Kulman Gising exchanged verbal volleys on the issue of dedicated and trunk lines dues. At least 17 Palestinians killed and dozens wounded in an Israeli strike in the Gaza town of Zawadeh. Israeli military instructs people in central Gaza to evacuate to designated humanitarian zone. And preparations for the SAF Under-20 Championship 2024 complete. Host Nepal up against Sri Lanka in the inaugural match tomorrow. The flood in Thame River in Khumbu Pasang Lyamu Rural Municipality 5 of Solukhumbu is said to have been caused by the outburst of a glacial lake. The glacial lake outburst was witnessed through a helicopter during an on-site inspection of the flood that had entered a settlement in Thame. The team that had reached to inspect the site has said that 2 out of the 5 glacial lakes had burst, while the other 2 are also at high risk of bursting. The sudden flood in Thame River had swept away around 20 houses and caused damage worth millions of rupees, following which a team led by Minister for Defense Manbir Rai reached the flood-affected region by an army helicopter. A team led by Chairperson of Khumbu Pasang Lyamu Rural Municipality Mingmar Chiri Sherpa had reached the source of the Thame River, which is at the border of Dolkha and Solukhumbu. The houses in Thame village had been swept away by the outburst of the 2 glacial lakes, which are in Tashi Lapcha region. Investigation on the cause of the glacial lake outburst has yet to be carried out. The flood has caused massive damages in Thame village, while a trekking route to reach Khumbu has also been swept away after the flood waters converged with Dudkoshi River. A bridge in Olanghat, which is on the way to Khumbu, has been damaged as well. The administration office has urged residents living near the river banks of Dudkoshi to remain alert. Meanwhile, the government has distributed relief of 65,000 rupees to 13 households which had suffered complete damages. Although it has been confirmed that the flood that occurred in Solukhumbu's Thame was caused by the outburst of a glacial lake, study has not been carried out yet on the same nature of the flood that occurred in Rolwaling River in Dolkha. Local residents have speculated that the Rolwaling River was flooded when the Dorji Pungmo glacial lake, located at a high point between tourist villages Na and Beding in Dolkha, outburst on the night of 6th of July last month. However, this has not been confirmed. Some locals of Beding have speculated that the flood in Rolwaling was caused by the outbursting of the glacial lake at the gorge of Mount Gauri Shankar. Thame and Rolwaling are tourist villages on either side of the Himalayas. Although it has been confirmed that the outburst of the glacial lake towards Tashi Lapcha caused the flooding in Thame, the situation of the glacial lake on the other side of Tashi Lapcha has not been studied yet. The flood that occurred in the Rolwaling River flowing through Mount Chorolpa had washed away 8 hotels in Dogang along the trekking route and left 1 person missing. Connection between Na and Beding villages have been disrupted after a suspension bridge, small truss bridge, and power poles were swept away. Local residents have been requesting to study the situation as there are many small glacial lakes in the upper regions of the Na and Beding in the Rolwaling area. The dispute between Nepal Electricity Authority (NEA) and the government regarding dedicated and trunk lines dues has been witnessed during the anniversary of the entity as well. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, who was handed the invitation a week in advance, did not attend the program, while Minister for Energy Deepak Khadga also criticized the NEA leadership. Meanwhile, the authority's Managing Director Kulman Gising gave remarks in favor of the entity. The ongoing dispute between Nepal Electricity Authority and the government regarding the dedicated and trunk line has been witnessed at the anniversary of the entity. Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, who was invited as the chief guest at the 39th anniversary of the NEA, did not attend the event. After the Prime Minister did not show up, his seat was removed and the Energy Minister was replaced as the chief guest. Minister Kharga expressed dissatisfaction towards the NEA for saying that the government was unwilling to collect the dues.
सम्मान्य प्रधानमन्त्रीज्यूले पनि यही भनेको छ मैले पनि त्यही भनिराखेको छु मैले अहिलेसम्म कसैले तिर्नु पर्दैन भन्ने सुनेको छैन तिर्नु पर्ने कुरा कति न्यायचित छ कि छैन भन्ने कुराको जिम्मेवारी चाहिँ राज्यले लिनुपर्छ दण्ड सजाय जरिमाना घाँटी काटेर हुँदैन घाँटी काट्ने भनेको अन्तिम कुरा हो एउटा उद्योगको लाइन काटेर बस्नु भनेको एउटा मान्छेको घाँटी काट्नु सरह हो.
Likewise, Minister Kharga said that the authority had failed in constructing physical infrastructures. He added that an entity that generates 13 billion rupees in profit annually should be accountable towards the general public and directed NEA to provide quality power supply. Meanwhile, Managing Director of the authority, Kulman Gising, claimed that the Auditor General had approved the profit gained by the entity and that it was not falsified.
पनि ऋण लिनुपर्ने अवस्थामा पुगेको प्राधिकरण अहिले आफूलाई सार्वजनिक संस्थाहरूमध्ये सर्वाधिक आम्दानी नाफा र सम्पत्ति आर्जन गर्ने संस्थाको रूपमा स्थापित हुन सफल भएको छ. जिम्मेवार व्यक्तिहरूबाटै सार्वजनिक रूपमै प्राधिकरणको नाफा कागजी हो भनिरहे तापनि यसमा कुनै सत्यता छैन. मालेका परीक्षक जस्तो संवैधानिक निकायबाट हरेक वर्ष वैधानिक लेखा परीक्षण भई प्रमाणित वित्तीय विवरणहरू प्रकाशित भएका छन्.
Managing Director Gising said that collecting dues from other government entities was equally a challenge. He went on to claim that NEA, which was at a loss of 34.61 billion rupees and was unable to pay salaries to employees, had generated a profit of 47.41 billion rupees within 8 years. He said that the NEA had exported 1.94 billion units of electricity last fiscal year and generated a profit of 17.06 billion rupees. He said that Nepal, that used to import electricity in the past, had started exporting it since the fiscal year 2023-24. The authority has said that works of the expansion of a transmission line network to export 20,000 megawatts of electricity by 2035 was underway. We'll take a short break here. We have more news coming up. In our Public Voice segment, today we have asked people in several provinces regarding the failure to complete national pride projects on time. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
बजेट सुनिश्चित नहुनुको प्रमुख कारण हो त्यसको.
यहाँका कर्मचारीहरू चाँडै सरुवा हुने भएको हुनाले योजनाहरू सम्पन्न हुन सकेको छैन.
भ्रष्टाचार बढी भएको कारणले गर्दाखेरि काम समयमा सम्पन्न हुन सकेको छैन.
राजनीतिक अस्थिरताको कारणले गर्दा समयमा काम नसकिनुको कारण हो.
तनमन धन लगाएर उहाँलाई विजय गराइदिन्छन् उहाँले आफ्नो जिम्मेवारी वहन गर्दैनन्.
ढिलो बजेट आउँछ ढिलो बजेट आउनाले समयमा काम सम्पन्न हुँदैन.
कानुन अनुसार चाहिँ जे जसरी गर्नुपर्ने हुन्छ त्यसमा चाहिँ नेपाल सरकार पनि चुकेको चाहिँ देखिन्छ.
बजेट प्रणाली कमजोर कार्यान्वयन गर्ने कमजोर भएका कारणले आज लक्ष्य अनुसार हुन सकिरहेको छैन.
योजना परेका ठाउँदेखि जनताले पनि गजचर नसकेको कि
पैसा दिएको छैन हामीले कसरी काम गर्ने हामीले परिवार पाल्न सकेको छैनौं भन्छन्. त्यसकारणले गर्दाखेरि यसमा चाहिँ राष्ट्र गौरवको आयोजनाहरू चाहिँ को कामहरू नहुनको मेन कारण चाहिँ ठेकदार सरकार कोही जस्तो लागेको छ.
काममा ढिलाइ गरिसकेपछि सरकारले चाहिँ उनीहरूलाई कारबाही गर्न नसक्नु एउटा ठूलो चुनौती हो. त्यसले गर्दाखेरि पनि यो गौरवका आयोजनाहरूको काममा चाहिँ ढिलाइ भइराखेको छ.
It's time now for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
But before that, let's take a look at the results from yesterday's poll. Yesterday, we had asked you, why have the 33,000 students who failed their secondary education examination not appeared for the chance exam? 25% voted for A, fear of failure, 15% for B, focused on employment, and 60% for C, not interested in academics. And here's today's question. What's your take on not preparing the work procedure regarding budget implementation even after a lapse of 1 month of the fiscal year? Your options are A, feeble employee mechanism, B, lack of willpower, and C, confusion in procedure. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. It's time now for the international update. At least 17 Palestinians were killed and dozens wounded in an Israeli strike in the Gaza town of Zaweda. The Israeli military said it was aware of reports of 17 people killed in a Gaza airstrike and was looking into them. Israel's military spokesperson in Arabic posted instructions on X for people in parts of central Gaza, including in Maghazi district, which is near Zaweda, to evacuate a designated humanitarian zone. He said militants were firing rockets from those locations and that the military was preparing to act against them. The United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs said yesterday's orders, which also included other areas of the enclave outside the humanitarian zones, had affected around 170,000 displaced people. Most of Gaza's 2.3 million population has been displaced by the 10-month-old Israeli offensive, which has laid waste to much of the enclave. The war was triggered on October 7 when the militant Islamist group Hamas attacked Israel, killing 1,200 people, mostly civilians, and taking about 250 hostages, according to Israeli tallies. According to Gaza health authorities, Israel's subsequent military campaign has killed more than 40,000 Palestinians, most of them civilians. Israel has lost 330 soldiers in Gaza and says at least a third of the Palestinian dead are fighters. We have more news coming up, but right now it's time for another short break.
Sports news brought.
The SAF Under-20 Championship 2024 is scheduled to kick off in Kathmandu tomorrow. Host Nepal are up against Sri Lanka in the inaugural match. Team Nepal had trained for about 40 days and played 3 practice matches against Church Boys United in preparation for the tournament. Nepal are aiming to win the title at home ground. Although Nepal have won the Under-18 and Under-19 SAF Championship, they have failed to win the Under-20 age group competition. At today's pre-match conference, all the 6 countries participating in the tournament have claimed that their team would lift the title. The participating teams are divided into 2 groups. Host Nepal are in Group A alongside Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, while India, Bhutan, and the Maldives are in Group B. All the group stage matches have been shifted from Kathmandu's Dasrat Stadium to the Anfa complex in Lalitpur due to unfavorable ground conditions because of heavy rain. If the weather improves and the pitch is playable, the semifinals and the title decider are likely to be held at the Dasrat Stadium. Nepal will face Bangladesh in their second match this Thursday. The first semifinal of the competition will be held on 25th of August and the second semifinal will be played on the 26th. The SAF Under-20 Championship final is scheduled to be held on 28th of August. Nepal will be hosting the Under-19 Men's Cricket World Cup 2026 Asia qualifiers. Cricket Association of Nepal CAN issued a notice today and informed about Nepal hosting the tournament. The International Cricket Council ICC handed the responsibility to Nepal to organize the event. The tournament is scheduled to be held from 12th to 21st of April next year. Teams from 5 Asian nations will participate in the Asian qualifiers. Along with host Nepal, Afghanistan, Hong Kong, Oman, and the United Arab Emirates will participate in the tournament. The winners of the Asia qualifiers will qualify for the Under-19 Men's World Cup 2 years later. CAN said that organizing the Asia qualifiers will prove to be a milestone in Nepali cricket. Nepal also participated in the Under-19 World Cup held in South Africa this year. Nepal reached the World Cup by becoming the winner of the Asia Regional Qualifier. In Group D, Nepal defeated Afghanistan, but after reaching the Super 6, they were defeated by all the teams. Liverpool started off their new English Premier League season with a 2-0 win over host Ipswich Town. In the match at the Portman Road Stadium in Ipswich, the first half ended in a goalless stalemate. After a tough first half against newly promoted Ipswich, Liverpool came out the more energetic in the second half, and Diogo Jota opened the scoring for the Reds in the 60th minute, slotting into the top corner. Mohamed Salah found the back of the net in the 65th minute to double Liverpool's lead, taking the Egyptian to 9 goals in the opening rounds of English Premier League seasons, more than anyone else. Jurgen Klopp's successor, Arne Slot, is just the second Liverpool manager in the English Premier League era to record a victory on his league debut after Gerard Houllier in August 1998. In other EPL matches played tonight, Brighton defeated Everton 3-0, Newcastle blanked Southampton 1-0, and Nottingham Forest and Bournemouth settled for a 1-1 draw. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Good night.